Sorry I'm late. Lost track of time, and I was working on something else. But let's get into this. Hello, I'm Mayor Watt. I'm the mayor of ohmTown. That's that site right there. I'm running behind schedule. Really apologize. But here I am. I'm going to go through about 20 articles that I've selected throughout the day that I find interesting or have some point to them that I think would be something worth drawing your attention to. And sometimes I just click on the front page and I find something really interesting, like Ohio mayor resigns after linking ice fishing to prostitution. Kind of makes you wonder just what's going on here. Are we Doctor Strange? And are we stuck in the multiverse of madness? Just what is going on with this planet? So the very first article, let me move my chat so I can paste these links. And you can paste links now into chat as well here on Twitch. Not just me. And I've also banned Streamlabs because it was coming in here for whatever reason, disrupting my chat and blocking people. And although it didn't even, well, it couldn't block, it was talking, but it couldn't block anybody. But it was having a grand old time in my chat, and I had to just stop it. Anyway, billionaire who flew to orbit with SpaceX buys 3 new missions to deep space. So just so you know, what you need to do to go into space is become a billionaire. Jared Isaacman will become a SpaceX frequent flyer. This article is by Lauren Grush over on The Verge. Has a picture of a few people associated with the SpaceX launch. I thought it was interesting. We are coming to the point where we have space tourism and not just, only billionaires doing it. Eventually we'll get it down to the point where anybody can do it. And there's got to be a purpose. So make a space station, or I should say a moon station or a Mars station, and start letting people come out there. You know what? I'd be happy mining out there on Mars for whatever is sitting under the surface of Mars. As long as I have the tech to survive, that would be great. It'd be like Minecraft, but I'd be doing something out in space. Gosh, I hope everybody is really nice to get along with. So let's see. Isaacman, who made his fortune through his payment processing company Shift4 Payments, made headlines last year when he bankrolled an entire SpaceX Crew Dragon passenger mission in September. Interesting. I had actually spun up a payment processing engine and I couldn't keep up with PayPal. There was all kinds of stuff that went on that prevented me from keeping up with it. But I'm a one-man shop. I really don't ask for anybody's support. At least until 2022 when I started this, and now I'm seeking everybody's support. Follow me on Twitch primarily. Not so worried about YouTube right now, but I love the real-time interaction. So if you are interested in news and like to hang out and chat, swing on by Twitch. Right now it's 6 p.m. Eastern, but who knows? I might move on to some other time or expand it longer. My last episode was 2 hours long. So the next article is Snapchat will put ads within stories and share the money with its creators. Well, that is very interesting. Because although you get revenue in other places, it's not typically including the ads. As far as I know, it's revenue. It's share based on performance, but I don't know if it has anything to do with the advertisements. That's not how it works on Twitch. You get a piece of the subscribers. So when you're a content creator and you do it for 10 years, but you're not a partner or affiliate, you don't have the ability to get subscribers because you don't have the check mark and the button. I don't think you can, you don't make anything, right? As far as I know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Can I subscribe to anybody? My gosh. Let me see something real quick. Yeah, some people have, sorry for the dead air. Some streamers have the subscribe button, but no check mark. So I wonder, that's interesting. Okay, well anyway, I'm gonna have to look more into that. Because I thought that you couldn't subscribe unless you were affiliate or partner. But I guess I'm wrong because I'm looking at somebody that doesn't have a check mark, but has the subscribe button. Okay. Off to a great start there, Marawatt. Anyway, so this inclusion of advertisements, the feature is currently being beta tested, but it's at Snapchat. This article is written by Mia Sato over at The Verge. And I'm going to turn that off. So Snapchat's introducing a new way for creators on the app to earn money. And this is kind of like what I have in mind, which is if you're going to co-host or host, then you get a piece of the action for the content that is developed with you attached to it. So I think it's brilliant. Everybody gets some skin in the game and they are interested in doing a good job, because if they're entertaining and engaging and help drive the engagement, then why not benefit from it? And so that's part of what I'm trying to do is, I guess, share the growth and the enterprise with those who are going to help grow ohmTown. That would be great. So it's interesting that Snap is doing it. It's kind of, I don't know, maybe when you really think about it, everybody is making money off of the ads because the ads are being shown on all of the platforms, and those who are making money from their particular channels, wherever it might be, they are essentially making making money from the ads. So it says Snapchat is introducing a new way for creators on the app to earn money. The platform is testing mid-roll ads that appear in the stories of a small group of U.S. creators, with a wider rollout happening in the coming months. Well, that's kind of interesting. So we'll see how positive of a reception this is. Let me tell you, the people that I know that have been online for long enough, they don't even see ads because they're blocking ads. I try not to do it. So we'll see how well it gets received. This next article is in the Mobile Channel, aggregated from Vice.com, and there's been an ongoing discussion about Roblox. It says here, Azel, a player on mega popular gaming platform Roblox, that lets creators make their own games, was at home when something odd happened. Roblox, for some reason, logged him out of his account. Azel tried to get back in, but his password didn't work. Fortunately, he was able to reset his password, create a new one, and log back in. But as soon as he did, Roblox kicked him back out. Azel contacted Roblox, but it didn't help. Someone had removed the email address from the account, meaning that he couldn't prove the account actually belonged to him. Whoever was in control then started trading with another player and sent some of Azel's valuable in-game items to the second account. So a hacker had guessed his password or somehow got into it and then drained the account. And this is why you need two-factor authentication, just in case you were wondering where this was going. But this is an article by Joseph Cox on Vice.com, and the section is called Motherboard Tech by Vice. Anyway, underneath the gaming platform worth $68 billion, which I've never played, and when I've tried to play it, but I just, it's too frenetic, too chaotic, too crazy for me. I just can't get into it. Anyway, let me finish that quote. Underneath the gaming platform worth $68 billion with a B. Sorry, I broke the quote again. And used by over half of all children in America is a ballooning and highly profitable ecosystem of hackers and traders. Used by over half of all children in America? Are you kidding me? That is crazy. Wow. Limited items in Roblox come with unique serial numbers, adding to their prestige. Azel's item was number 918. Azel said a friend originally gave it to them for their birthday and added he originally shared the account with a friend before they gave him full control of it. Found someone selling the same rare face item for Bitcoin on Discord. Wow. Yeah. Anyway. Next article. So, Bored Apes, BuzzFeed, and the battle for the future of the internet. On Friday, February 4th, BuzzFeed's Katie Natopoulos published a story that ignited an online war. The reason was simple. In it, the technology reporter revealed the names of the founders of the Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT collection to be two men named Greg Solano and Wiley Aronow. Almost immediately, the public identification of the previously pseudonymous Solano and Aronow led to righteous anger. So I'm going to click this link. Takes you over to Vice.com. Article by Maxwell Strachan. Might be Strachan. I'm going to go with Strachan. And you can go over there. Obviously, you can click the link that's in chat and it'll take you over there. But the self-righteous anger over identification of the founders of a popular NFT club says a lot about the Web3 battles to come in the years ahead. The weird thing about getting doxxed is that you really never know who's going to come at you and from what angle. And the amount of energy and creativity in these perceived attacks, right? They are attacks, is extremely broad in their gamut, from something as innocuous as a random pizza showing up on your doorstep and you've no idea where it comes from, to someone being swatted, or threats to your employer and it ends up ending your career because your employer says, I'm not going to deal with this crap, you're out. And sometimes these people are beyond arm's reach, right? They're from another country. You can't even pursue it. It would take an act of the federal government to try and locate even where these people are coming from. So it's very empowering for a body of people to kind of troll other people, as it were. And it can be any reason. This was because they were unmasked. And really, if you're online and you're using a pseudonym and somebody reveals your real identity, it can cost you in more ways than your NFT value. Somebody reveal your identity and you're talking smack about somebody, it can almost end your life. It's a really horrible thing. Well, anyway, go over to Vice.com and check it out. Then you can come back to ohmTown, make your comments there, go to the Discord for ohmTown, go to YouTube and make a comment on that video. There's only one there right now, and I need to update it because it's quiet. Same thing with Apple Podcasts. I need to update it because it's quiet. I didn't ramp up the audio when I cut it down to audio. Anyway, yeah, and NFTs, and I think that eventually people will get tired of it because it's going back and forth. People are taking the same things back and forth. They're selling it, buying it, and selling it, buying it, and selling it. But to me, unless you really find value in it, there's nothing really there. What I want is, I want an NFT. I've said this in my previous episodes. I want an NFT service that allows me to transfer something of value, something that currently is bound only in the ether. I want it to have something that is transferable, and the previous owner, or I should say the creator of the work can still in some way track it, right? So if I sell a piece of art to somebody and it's on a canvas, then that person owns it and they can sell it to somebody else, or they can hang it on the wall and appreciate it. What I can't do with my software, what I can't do with my books, what I can't do with my music or movies on services where it's electronic and only electronic, is give them to somebody else or sell them to somebody else, right? So I've got audiobooks, but I can't sell them to somebody else unless I do something on the back end and then work with an administrator. I don't think I can sell Audible books. I can't transfer them to somebody else permanently. I don't think so. I know that I can't do it with my books, ebooks in Apple or otherwise. I just can't sell them to somebody else. I can loan them, but I can't sell them to somebody else. Same thing with my Steam games. If you all know of a way to do this, then please tell me. I want to be able to sell games that I own, that I've licensed perpetually on various platforms. I've paid for games. So in the spirit of things, I own them, but that's not what the terms of use are. I've paid $60 for a game that I can't sell. I own it. I've already beat it. I'm not done. I'm just done with it, or I haven't played it enough to make it worthwhile. I'd like to sell it for $30 to somebody. No can do. And I think that's what an NFT could do. It can give a digital embodiment to something that is bound entirely in the ether. because you don't own anything when all it is a bunch of electrons stored on a SSD. So this next article, I gotta hustle. Keep moving, Mayor Watt. The next article is, want to delete your social media but can't bring yourself to do it? Here's some ways to take that step. For more than a decade, we've been deeply immersed in a love affair with social media, and the thought of ending things can be painful. But like any relationship, is social media no longer making you happy, and if you're curating your online persona is exhausting instead of fun, it might be time to say goodbye. This article is over at phys.org. That's phys.org. And they talk about, this is an article by Sharon Horwood from The Conversation. And they're going to talk about how to step away from your social media. But I wanted to, I clicked this because I wanted to go a little bit deeper into this. I want to be able to end my relationship when I want to, and even rekindle that relationship when I want to. But when I end it, I want it all gone. The EU has this idea of right to be forgotten, right? And you can be removed from search engines by request. But if I stop going, if I don't want to have an account on Best Buy anymore, let's say bestbuy.com, I want my data gone, wiped clean, removed. I want evidence that, or I want the policy and procedure to be that if I notify them legally, purge my data, I should have the right to do that. Right? Why shouldn't I? The relationship has ended. If I want to rekindle it, then I'll go back and I'll start up another account and you can start tracking me again. But that's not how it is. But I know that if I'm dating somebody and I don't want to see them anymore, I take all of my stuff, my bat and ball, and go home. And I stop hanging out with them, and I don't call them, and you don't drunk text, and you don't drive by their house daily. And no, Mayor Watt, don't say these weird things on the air. Anyway, go over to phys.org, and if you click the link in chat and et cetera, I keep saying this stuff, trying to remind people, because there aren't that many people that are in my chat. But I want to give everybody the same opportunity. Click on a link, go over to ohmTown, see the little snippet, click on the link to go to the source, read the entire source, and then come and talk to me about it. Either right now, do it, come on back, or tomorrow say, hey, I read that article that you posted in your chat, or I saw in the description of your podcast, or I saw it on YouTube, and then talk to me about it. And if it diverges the stream in another direction, then so be it. That's how it works. I'm cool with it. I want to vamp. I want to talk with y'all and have a good time talking about what's important. And whatever is important is what everybody wants to talk about the most. So sometimes I'll try and write it back onto the track and we'll keep on chugging through the news. But if I don't hit 20 articles, then so be it. So yeah, 20 articles in 60 minutes. Anyway, what do you think about it? If you break up with a company, don't you deserve to take your box of stuff back home? I think so. So Ivan Reitman passed away on February 12th at the age of 75. And I'm going to click the link. It's an aggregated article put in the Continuity Report channel on ohmTown, but the little snippet is from Roger Ebert, and then we can go over there. Peter Subsinski is the author of this article, and sucks that Ivan Reitman has passed away. So, more than one movie that I love: National Lampoon's Animal House, Stripes, Ghostbusters, all three of those. I absolutely love. And obviously it just continued. But for the most part, I mean, working with people like John Belushi and Bill Murray, Gilda Radner, Harold Ramis, Kentucky Fried Movie, by the way. The job instead went to John Landis, who had just had a big hit with Kentucky Fried Movie. This movie, Kentucky Fried Movie, is by far the movie that when you watch it, your head will explode, because you'll be wondering how this could be made. But it was made back then, and so you have to have cultural relativism. This movie could not be made today, as far as I'm concerned. So if you do check it out, if you don't have an older copy, I'm surprised if a newer version of it hasn't been edited. But anyway, the Animal House and Meatballs is a great summer camp movie, and it was fun to watch. But these are all older movies, so go and read the article over on Roger Ebert. Sorry for the fast scroll. I hope I don't make you throw up. The next article is over on Stock Marketeers channel. Fed's Bullard says economic outlook, including rate hikes, is not a threat to the stock market, but I really don't see how it is. It can't be construed. Not really a threat, but things become constrained when interest rates are hiked. People stop spending money because they just can't afford. They can't find. It stops making economic sense. So things are going to contract, and when things contract, only the rich are going to be able to do the stock market. So I'm going to click this link. But I mean, you can always do funds and invest small amounts. And of course, they changed their title. It says his call for front-loaded rate hikes is not a threat to economy/stock market. For whatever reason, MarketWatch again always changes the title of their article, but the URL stays the same. So it was first published at 9:16 and then updated at 10:58 with a different title. And Greg Robb has this little byline, repeats call for 100 basis point move by July 1. Other Fed officials more dovish. So what does that mean? It means that interest rates are going to increase, and with increased interest rates and increased inflation, you're going to be paying more, getting less, and trying to figure out how to make ends meet. If you were already constrained by your budget, you will continue to be constrained by your budget. So this next article is over on the Continuity Report channel at ohmTown and sourced from Variety.com. Denis Villeneuve reacts to Best Director Oscar snub. Hey, welcome to ohmTown. Feel free to ask questions in chat. If I get diverged, I will eventually pull us back onto the track so I can keep on going through the news, but I hope you enjoy the show. If you've never seen Dune, let me tell you, it is awesome. The scale of it, the majesty of it is just how I imagined it from the books when I've read them. And the predecessor movies, some of them were really horrible. The the multi-parters that were on Sci-Fi and other places. But the movie, the original Dune movie, it was big, but not to this scale. And the thopters, the ornithopters, were amazing in this iteration of Dune. And it's so frustrating that I have to wait another year for the next part of this. And I think it's supposed to be a 2-parter, which just ruins it for me, because I want this thing to just go on and on and on. There's so much content in Dune that I just don't think that we'll see everything. But let's hope that enough people engage in it, and somebody says, hey, let's keep on funding this. I'm gonna keep on scrolling, but when I'm done, I'm gonna scroll all the way back up. Okay, this article is over on Variety, and it's written by Zach Sharf. So click that link and then go on over to the Variety. Oop, pardon me, let me grab the right thing here. Here's the link to ohmTown, and then you can click the link that says visit the source, like it says down here. Once you sign in, you can actually make comments on ohmTown, and there's a Discord, and there's a YouTube channel. I haven't added content there except for the introduction, and there's a podcast. So you can download the episodes where we're talking like this. And I don't really edit. I don't think I've edited anything yet, but I haven't put anything else other than the intro over on Apple Podcasts. And I may submit it to other podcast locations, but we shall see. But getting 10 nominations is pretty good, I mean, how many have I gotten? I can count them on no hands. Okay, so this next article is over on the Continuity Report. This is one of the shows that I actually want to do really bad, but I want a co-host that we can riff off of each other in terms of what this show is about. So we basically watch a movie and talk smack about it live on the air for an hour. We talk about the show, but we've already watched the whatever it is. And that's what the Continuity Report is. The Continuity Report, if you don't know what it is as a movie thing, is it basically tracks the set so that no matter what, when you reset for another scene, everything it has continuity. So if somebody is holding a glass in their left hand, it isn't suddenly on their right hand or sitting on the table. Now, if you've ever seen, or I should say, listened to the podcast, How Did This Get Made? Their last episode really drove home the point that maybe this show is a little dense, because they were joking about what the Continuity Report is. Not my show, but the real practice of the Continuity Report. Because there is somebody that's in charge of continuity on movie sets. I don't think that they're well respected based on what they were talking about in How Did This Get Made? And the last episode was pretty funny. Anyway, if you didn't watch the Super Bowl last night, it was an interesting game, but I think the rightful winner won, mainly because there was a face masking. There was a play where the helmet was pulled to the side and the guy ended up getting a touchdown, and it should never have been. Let's just say I'm glad that the winners actually won, because that play made the difference between a possibly really bad ending and the way it should have gone. So you'll have to go and watch it, because apparently you're not even allowed to say Super Bowl. You have to refer to it as Superb Owl. You can't give any commentary about it, etc., etc. They do this caption, or they make this statement during the Super Bowl. So I might get chased now because I've actually said the word Super Bowl instead of superb owl. Anyway, I'm gonna click this link and you can see this is an article over on Variety written by Todd Spangler, and talks about all of the ads. So go on over there and click all of those links and show everybody that, or show them and the author that you like what they provide. I'm not going to go through these ads or really get into this article, other than I wanted to draw attention to the fact that there were some fun ads. Pardon me one second. I can't really say that the Alexa ad was all that amazing, but and Zach Braff and Donald Faison from Scrubs, they are still in that relationship. Let's see what else. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see the Rakuten one, but anyway, go check it out. You might like it. Okay, next article. And if you have any questions or comments, or you want to see something, let me know in chat that you find something interesting and we can get distracted together. That's fine. Hackers just leaked the names of 92,000 Freedom Convoy donors. This is in the Mobile channel. And if you've not heard of this, there is an anti-vax Freedom Convoy in Canada. And apparently there's similar striking up in other places. A bunch of people got arrested recently, and heavy movers were hauled in to pull trucks off of a bridge. And people are donating to this cause. And I don't know, we're on the tail end of this pandemic, and people are still fighting to not get the vaccine, while many others are, particularly in France. They've got an extremely high vaccination rate, somewhere around 90%. And people don't want to wear a mask, as if it's an affront to humanity, to protect others from a virus that can kill you. And we're almost 1 million people in the United States dead because of the virus. Kind of a shocker that people still fight this. But we're on the trailing end of it, where it'll just be just like a flu shot. You know, a lot of people get flu shots. So let's click that link and I'll take you over there. David Gilbert wrote this article for Vice, and they go into discussion about this Freedom Convoy. And yeah, I think it's always interesting about freedom this and freedom that. You know, there's a lot of freedoms in the United States. A lot. And in many other countries. So we're not losing anything by wearing a mask, folks. But that's my opinion. This next article is over in the Mobile channel as well. A new microscope allows for high throughput 3D adaptive optical imaging. I'm very interested in microscopes. I actually struck up a program, a channel on YouTube called Microscope TV, where I had a microscope and a high-res camera focused on various, the microcosm. And let me click this and post it in my chat. And it ran for a little while, but one of the things that I didn't really worry about at the time, which was long-term exposure to this focus light, would actually damage what was in either the Petri dish or on the glass plates. And so I was essentially chasing things down quite a bit and fixing things and starting over, because it would basically just boil away. And so I hadn't purchased an LED microscope yet. So let's click this link. I'll take you over there. This is on phys.org, Institute for Basic Science. And having the ability to see something from two different angles, or having a way to change the angle so that you can actually see more detail at one time, is pretty amazing technology, because typically you're looking at it from one angle and that's it. There isn't anything else. You have to manually move things around to see different angles of it. It happens a lot with microscopy. You have to get the right angle or change the angle of the light. And it says, therefore, typical light microscopes mostly allow us to see the surface of the tissues, and details are multiple cell layers deep, out of reach for many microscopes. And that was one of the other things that I had to contend with, was if something was moving around within the field of the microscope, to see anything else other than that one slice, you would have to change it manually, and it was time consuming, so it couldn't run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that's what I was interested in doing. It would basically take a CNC machine, not a CNC, well, yeah, a CNC machine, to actually turn the knobs and software to focus and change the field so that there was always something in that field of view. Which it was some serious heavy lifting, and I couldn't find anybody to produce anything like that. I'm not a software engineer, so it really didn't happen. But I still have the channel on, as a matter of fact, it's on the ohmTown account at YouTube. There is another channel out there, by the way, if you're still interested in that kind of thing. If you are interested in microscopy, you can do a search, and there's another channel that kind of exists the same way, except that it's edited material, not live. And that's really what I'm interested in, is the live stuff. So let me scroll back up to the beginning of this, and you can go and check it out. A new microscope allows for high throughput 3D adaptive optical imaging. You know, a lot of people take technology for granted. They just assume that because they can use their phone, they understand technology, but there's some amazing tech out there that nobody knows about. And I love talking about it and drawing attention to it. And then there's stuff like this. In the Smack Talk, which is a channel talking about Apple and products and competitors in the context of Apple. Apple has started production on the Apple TV Plus comedy, The Big Door Prize, by set dressing a street in Loganville, Georgia. So click the link. It'll take you over to Apple Insider. Malcolm Owen is the author of this. They have this picture of the set. Always find it fascinating when you actually see the construction of a set and how it takes over a town, and everybody's cool with it, at least while it's going on for a little bit. I've seen sometimes where there's like explosions in the middle of New York, and it just kind of blows me away. That pun was not intended. When they do all of this stuff right in the middle of all of the people, and you know, the people are around the perimeter, and it seems real enough when you see the movie. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, Apple has started production on this movie called The Big Door Prize, in a production that could be codenamed or renamed Zoltar. And I'm really not going to get into it, but isn't Zoltar isn't that the name of the future telling little box guy? Hold on. Sorry for the dead air while I look for this. It would give you your fortune. Yeah. A fortune telling machine named Zoltar. And I thought that it was in, where was it? The most robotic Zoltars were born in Boulder City. And I thought that it was in Shazam as well. I thought. It wasn't big. And then I guess there was a Battle of the Planets Zoltar as well. Anyway. So I wonder if that's what that is. Rename Zoltar. It's the same spelling. Guess we'll see. Keep an eye out for Apple TV's next comedy Big Door Prize. Okay, the next article is in the Mobile Channel. Record-breaking rogue wave spotted off the coast of Vancouver Island. A pair of researchers at the University of Victoria have confirmed the observation of a record-breaking rogue wave. If you don't know what a rogue wave is, basically it's a huge wave coming out of nowhere. It's not like a little wave splashing up across the beachhead. It's big and sometimes quite large to the point where it can capsize boats if it broadsides them. And so people have to be on the lookout for these things. I wonder how big this one is. They found that the buoy had measured a wave that was 17.6 meters high. Okay, so a nearly 60-foot wave, while the waves around it were averaging just 6 meters high. Okay, that's pretty amazing. So again, this is a phys.org article written by Bob Yurka from phys.org. Yep, so now you know what a rogue wave is if you've never heard of one before. In this next article, the Word and Tech channel has aggregated from The Verge, Texas is suing Meta over Facebook facial recognition. So I don't know how you feel about facial recognition. I think for many things it kind of creeps me out, but I'm conflicted because I like the idea of being able to know the people that are around me. And I kind of, I'm conflicted in that I want to be able to say hi to people and be able to pull up like a little card, like birthdays and whatever else, right? But then when you think about it, you go, God, that's really creepy. Why have all of this information available in a facial recognition platform? But you know that criminal justice system is using it. Other countries are using it prolifically, particularly China. There's a new, I'm going to have to do a search for this and see if I can find it. I had heard a rumor that there is an app that's coming out that will use eye detection. What do they call it? I can't remember what it's called. But it'll monitor where you are looking and not play unless you are looking at the screen. And that's all part of the facial recognition kind of platform, because it's looking at your whole face and making sure that you're looking at it. But then in this particular context, it's scanning pictures, it's getting to know everything about you, it's consolidating it. And I had said previously, man, I really don't like the idea of a service containing everything that I do. And then I remind people when others say that to me, they say, well, I really don't like Facebook having all of my information. I don't like Google tracking me and all of that kind of stuff. But your ISP knows more about you than anybody. They know every single search. They see everything that crosses their line. They do deep packet inspection and they know exactly what's going on. And if you think otherwise, guess again. All of your DNS, every time you do a search, every time you go to a website, it goes through their DNS. If it doesn't go through their DNS, somebody else's DNS is monitoring every single thing you do. And more to the point, everything you do on somebody's platform, like if you use Google Mail, it's being mined. Might be mined by bots, might be mined by law enforcement. It takes basically a court order, but nothing's stopping Google from rifling through your emails. And I know that because I used to run an anti-spam mail service for the enterprise and for end users. And email is plain text. It's not encrypted. It's encrypted within each enterprise. But when it's moving from one place to another, it is not encrypted. So how do you feel about facial recognition? Meta paid $650 million in an Illinois settlement last year, and now Texas is suing Meta over facial recognition. Do you value your privacy? This article is written by Addie Robertson over on The Verge. How do you feel about your privacy? Do you think you should be in charge of it? Should you be able, like I said earlier in this episode, should you be able to break up with Facebook and they are required to delete your entire existence from their databases? Because they store everything. They've got beacons all over the place. Every website that has a Facebook ad like this right here at the top, right next to the Twitter one, right? So both of these are like beacons. You go to the website, it reaches out and it notifies Facebook and Twitter and The Verge that you are on the page. Every time you go to another page, it links it back. That's how it works. It's a tracking device. It throws a little cookie on your computer, and when you go back to Facebook, it divulges all of that information, again, confirming that you are you. So, do you think that you should be able to break up with a website, just like your significant other? You take your box of stuff and you go home, and your relationship is ended and its history is gone. That way somebody else can come along and take your account. And there's nothing there, right? Somebody else can sign up. Well, that's not how it is. You disable your account and it's still there, accruing data just on the back end and never exposed to the public. You're still being bought and sold, though. Did I put this last article out there in the chat? I might have missed a few. I kind of get distracted. Let me back up a little bit here. Yeah, that Rogue Wave one I didn't put in there. I'm falling apart, folks. I'm really sorry. How about that Apple one? My goodness. I really fell apart. Okay, so I added 3 more. This next article is crypto loan service BlockFi pays record $100 million SEC penalty. This is in the Mobile channel, sourced from Vice.com. Hey. So written by Maxwell Strachan. I think it's Strachan. Might be Strachan or Strachan. BlockFi, the popular cryptocurrency savings and loan service, has agreed to pay a $100 million penalty to SEC in 32 states to settle charges that it had been illegally operating as an unregistered investment company and misleading the public about the level of risk inherent in its business. Yeah, that could lead to some serious concerns, particularly if you're invested in that company. But for the most part, if the money, I'm conflicted with this because it's really hard for startups to stick to every rule and regulation that comes down the pike, particularly as those rules and regulations are being developed. I don't know if that's the case with this, but it says the fine is the largest leveled against a cryptocurrency company by the SEC so far, according to Bloomberg. You never want to be that company. So I'm sure that there were ample violations to warrant something like this. But eventually, you fix all of your mistakes and you keep moving on. But $100 million in penalties is a hard pill to swallow. But BlockFi, apparently, according to this article, claims to have over 1 million clients and manage more than 10 billion in assets. So this is a drop in the bucket for what might have been much greater violations. But in this case, they may not have lost any money anywhere. and nobody's been really harmed by their actions. Whereas we have all seen companies who have done some really horrible things and the fines amount to a drop in the bucket. But, go and read the article over on vice.com. Let me make sure that I threw that in there. I'm going to throw this back into chat just to make sure that I got it. There you go. You can click that link and go over there and take a look. Again, I don't prep before the show. I grab a bunch of articles that I see the little snippet that you see right now on the screen. I see that little snippet. I see that headline. And that alone is what attracts me to it, so that when I click the link and we both react at the same time, you might throw a comment in chat and say, well, wow, that's really either funny or this is a stupid article, or, why are you even talking about this? Or, you might have something more to add to it. I might have some context, but it's kind of like a reaction show, really. A little more sedate though. I'm not like screaming out of my mind, oh my God. Anyway, this article is over at the Law Nerd channel at ohmTown. It's aggregated from above the law. So when we click this link, hearing ends in disbarment recommendation for district attorney, but she's staying on the job. This is an article written by Joe Patrice, I think it's pronounced. Lee Manlove tried to spin her professional responsibility woes as cancel culture run amok. Okay. I have a lot to say about cancel culture, but I'll have to save it for a more appropriate time, I guess you could say. But on Friday, a panel of the State Board of Professional Responsibility decided it was a little more serious than that, recommending that Laramie County DA be disbarred. How can you be on the job if you're disbarred? This panel finds the injury caused by Manlove's conduct is serious, the chair of the panel said, having just sat through days of testimony about Manlove's management and handling of key cases. The Supreme Court will have to take final action, though the report of the panel will weigh heavily on the justices' minds. She'd fallen short, stating she'd fallen short. She seems intent on taking her fight to the next level. Okay. Wow. What does it say? She's committed to serving the citizens of Laramie County as long as she remains in office. I didn't think that you could be a DA without being an attorney. If you're disbarred, you can't practice. You're still an attorney. You just can't practice. But I know that attorneys can't you can't be in a partnership with anyone who is not an attorney. And I'm not sure how being a DA without being in a bar allows you to conduct your business. Wow, this is going to be interesting. This will be interesting if she's not leaving the job. She'll have to resign. I can almost guarantee that. Oh, I didn't do it again. My goodness. Mayor Watt, you are slacking. Okay, so this next article is in the Mobile channel. Ohio mayor resigns after linking ice fishing to prostitution. I hope a certain someone is not listening to this stream right now. An Ohio mayor has resigned after making controversial remarks linking ice fishing to prostitution, which he called a failed attempt at dry humor, and ended up resigning. Wow. Olafemin Ocean is the author of this. I think I always ruin that person's name. I'm really sorry if I'm saying it wrong. So let me close this and make sure it's paused. An Ohio mayor has resigned after making controversial remarks linking ice fishing to prostitution, which he called a failed attempt at dry humor. Made national headlines for comments made during a Tuesday council meeting in which he suggested that allowing ice fishing at a local park could lead to more prostitution in the city. They were made out of concern for the community, what could become of unintended consequences of new legislation based on my prior television news reporting experience, Schubert wrote in his resignation letter. My attempt to inject a bit of dry humor to make a point about this in the midst of a cold, snowing February was grossly misunderstood. Well, buddy, you got to read the room. And linking ice fishing to prostitution is probably not reading the room properly. Do it with your drinking buddies, not on the news. Okay, because I actually have a show called Temporology it's right there, Temporology. You might detect that I am interested in time and time travel. I'm interested in the sci-fi aspects of it and the real world aspects of it. Because I've mentioned in previous episodes that if you're a gamer and you have trained your visual acuity, so you're playing games, and the more frames that your monitor can display per second gives you a better chance of seeing movement in a game. And so if you're playing a first-person shooter and you have, let's see, 144 frames instead of 60 frames, you're seeing almost 3 times as much data per second than the person with 60 frames. And therefore your reaction times are changing. And the perception of action is similar to time travel in that you're perceiving reality at a different rate than somebody else. You're not traveling somewhere else, but you're perceiving time at a different rate. The same thing happens with fighter pilots, if you can believe it. If you do a search for perception, time travel, and fighter pilots, you will probably find an article on it. Let me throw this link here into chat along with the previous one. Oh, I am slacking. I am so sorry. So this Nick of Time article, I'll click the link, take you over to phys.org. Of course it's phys.org. And it's written by SPIE. And just for kicks, I'll throw us over there so that you can see their website too. So the International Society for Optics and Photonics. Well, at the interface between two media, light is partly reflected backwards into the medium from where it came and partially transmitted into the neighboring medium, like a light ray entering a sparkling pool of water. So it'll reflect and come back. If you click this link, oh, it's right there. I am not a physicist, so while I understand some of this, I don't understand the deeper aspects of it. So the light wave patterns that arise from these processes can be usefully tailored using photonic metamaterials, which offer emergent electromagnetic responses that differ fundamentally from those of natural materials. So if you want to see a real life thing kind of like this, is if you have a two-way mirror, it can actually be coded in a special way so that you can split the difference, either 50-50, where a part is being refracted in one way and the other is, you can see through it, but you can actually see something reflected onto it. That's what teleprompters are. And it's different ratios. You can actually code it in a different way. And if you can make metamaterials that perform like that, then you can alleviate some of the issues with things like two-way mirrors, like reflections or double images. It's all about how it's produced. But the extent to which this is going to go, I couldn't tell you. But go over and read this article if you're really into engineering, if you're really into optics or photonics. If you're a physicist, then go over there and read this article and then come back and school me on it. That way I've got a subject matter expert that can talk to me about this material. That would be interesting. This next article is over on the Mobile channel as well. The West mega drought worsens to driest in at least 1,200 years. The American West mega drought deepened so much last year that is now the driest in at least 1,200 years and is a worst case climate change scenario playing out live. So I've been watching some news about this, not just a mega drought, but there are lakes that are so below even their lowest levels that people are wondering if it's going to dry out entirely. Like dams aren't even reaching. There isn't enough water to power the dam. There isn't enough pressure to turn the turbines in some of these man-made lakes. And in other places, the lake is completely dried up, leaving, a bed and breakfast that used to be lakefront sitting at a desert. And it's going to continue if we keep on heating up the whole world. And even the temperature of oceans has now increased, and the oceans are a heat sink. So at some point, it's not going to be able to accept as much heat, and that becomes atmospheric heat, which will kill plants, eventually people. I know that it sounds hyperbolic, but in time, these things don't just get left alone. We are all intimately connected. Trash in the oceans, trash in the rivers. Nobody is recycling, not to a great extent. We are in charge of this planet. We are the sentient, apex predator here. We better take care of this planet. It's the only one we've got. Unless you're a billionaire, and then you can travel wherever you want, I suppose. At least that's where SpaceX is taking billionaires out to space. So this next article is over in the Order of the Bean. We only call it of the Bean because you can be part of the Brotherhood of the Bean or Sisterhood of the Bean or Order of the Bean. If you're into coffee, then you're a member of the Order of the Bean. Go sign up over at ohmTown. Eventually we'll have merch, shirts and cups and things like that. Is this the world's largest cup of coffee? It's big, sure, but this author says that they've seen bigger. Let's click this link and check it out. Oh, and let me throw this link in chat. So, is this the biggest mug? That is a big mug. I won't play the video. I'll let you go over to sprudge.com. Zach Cadwallader wrote this article. Okay, so maybe Cafe Bene, the South Korean-based coffee chain in question, didn't say that exactly, that it's the largest. At a slim 4,000-gallon cup of joe. What do you think? How long would it take you to drink that? I drink one. I don't have my mug. Oh, it's because I picked up coffee on the way home. Well, anyway, I have 1 cup a day, really. But at 4,000 gallons, I think that would probably last me, 8,000 days, probably, right? Longer than that. I mean, a gallon is a lot. So it would probably last, Yeah, probably lasts 16,000 days for me. If you break it into a quart, each gallon into a quarter. And even that's a lot. So at any rate, 4,000 gallons of coffee. We could all take a scoop, I suppose. And the last article for today is in the Wanted channel, which is all about stuff that I personally really want and think that other people might want too. It mostly focuses on tech and other things that we can't get, but we all want. Weeks after announcing it, NVIDIA has gone silent on its flagship RTX 3090 Ti. I heard that this has been pronounced both TI and Ti. And then during the NVIDIA kind of marketing hype about the 3090, they kept referring to it as Ti. And so the argument will start now. Just like GIF and GIF, is it TI or Ti? Just like Mojang and Mojang. If you play Minecraft, there's an argument still going between people who want to say Mojang, which is how it's supposed to be pronounced, according to Mojang, or Mojang, how it is pronounced phonetically, Mojang. Pick a side. I guess we have to pick a side no matter what. So here's the article link over on ohmTown about the 3090 Ti. Then we'll click this link and go over there. And it's an article written by Andrew Cunningham, and it shows the apex predator in GPUs, which is the 3090 Ti, RTX 3090 Ti. And I would love to have one of these, but I think it would probably cost 10 times the price of my first car. And I can't justify it. I know my power supply could handle it, but man, this thing is just gonna so pricey. So what do you think? Do you want this? Do I have kind of the epic name for a show about things like the 3090? Wanted. I was thinking it could be a Western themed, the host and co-host can talk with a Western, an American Western accent, right? And we can have bounties out for stuff. Wanted, always working, never dead. You don't want a dead RTX 3090 Ti. Oh, Ti. Sorry, it's Ti. Anyway. So I hope you enjoyed the show. Like always, at the end of the show, I take you back to the very front page and show you that every time you click on the front page of ohmTown, it will refresh and give you a whole new set of article headlines and a few more things to click on and check out. And it works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Go over, sign up, become a citizen of ohmTown. I'll start activating other features that have been laying dormant for a couple of weeks now as I test certain things out. There's gamification on there, different ways of logging in. I'm trying to get working, but something keeps breaking. I'm going to start posting things on YouTube again. I'm going to be posting things on Apple Podcasts. I'll be tweeting, but the mainstay of the show really is going to be me on Twitch from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. at least, every single day until whenever I don't know. Either this all takes off and I get a whole bunch of people talking with me in chat, or I continue doing this to just have fun and put this show out, because I think that it's fun going through all of this news and talking about it a little bit and not necessarily doing a deep dive. I plan on having 50 shows a week, but I'm looking for hosts and co-hosts. I'm not going to be able to do 50 shows all by myself. But across the top of this page, of every page on ohmTown, are the 6 categories that my news aggregator throws articles into. And it runs from kind of the creator maker space all the way over to sociology, education, technology, and general news. There's a few here in general news. My main focus is business, technology, and sociology. And where they all merge together is my main focus in everyday life. That's what I do for a living, along with my business stuff. So if you are interested in this, then come on back tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern, and I will see you then.